this. Hi guys, welcome to Breakthrough. I'm your host Sharon, and I'm so excited that you joined me today. I'm excited too because we've been doing this series on think, do, say, and live. And we have gone through think, do, and say, the importance of the things and the words we say. And today we are talking about live. And we are doing it from a remote location. But before I tell you about where we're doing this broadcast from, I want to introduce this amazing lady who is next to me. We have been friends for close to 30 years. She is one of the people who can tell me something and I'd listen. You know what I mean? She knows the ins and outs of who I am. And it's none other than my lifelong friend, Denise Seeley. Welcome, Denise. How are you?
I am doing well, Sharon. Thank you very much for having me on your show.
You are welcome. Do you want to tell us about where we are at and, yeah, a little bit.
Oh, are you talking about our physical location?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, okay. We are in the lovely Fort Lauderdale. It's fantastic out here. We are at the W Hotel.
Yeah.
We have an amazing view in an amazing hotel, and the weather is great. I know about the COVID-19, but I promise you, we are being extremely careful.
Yes.
We're sanitizing. We're wearing our masks, and we are not going into any closed buildings. Everything we do on the outside. We're being very safe.
Yes.
But this is where we are, and it's wonderful, and I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you, Denise. So we are so excited. Yes, it is safe because in this area there's an ordinance that you must wear a mask in public. So we are being safe. We do wear masks, and we're excited because we're just going to be here for a couple more days, but we are very excited. Thank you for joining us. So today we are going to continue our series on think, do, say, and live. But before I do that, I'd like to ask you a couple of favors. One, please share this broadcast. Invite someone to join us today. It's going to be really, really exciting. And Denise, she is one of the smartest people I know. I'm not, she laughs about it and she teases me.
All that means is she doesn't know a lot of smart people.
Oh my gosh, I hate when you say that because it's true. Can I tell you, she challenges my creativity in so many different ways. We have been friends, as I said before, for over 30 years. And what happens when we get together is basically our creative minds start working, right? And we start talking about ideas, businesses, different things that we can do. It's always exciting hanging out and talking with Denise. So thank you. So I met my little, I think I need this to be able to click through my program. So what is Breakthrough all about? We've been talking about Breakthrough for a long time, and I hope by now people know that Breakthrough is all about deliberately influencing people with a spirit of excellence. It's basically when you make a mistake, don't just stop with the mistake, but try again until you get it right. Many of you, if you've been following me for a while, know that my first broadcast was done sideways. I held the camera in the wrong direction. But guess what? That's what excellence is all about. It's about, one, when you mess up, try again until you get it right. It's about when you fall down, get up. I mean, wouldn't you say, Dee?
Yeah, I would absolutely say that, and I would go on to say that when you talk about breakthrough, it takes extra strength. It may not come easy. It won't come easy, but that is what breakthrough is. It's weathering the storm. It's having the resilience to bounce back, and it's also having the fortitude to stay strong.
Exactly.
And I think you need, I'm sorry, Sharon,
No,
I think you
go ahead.
need all those things in order to see the breakthrough. It will not come easy, but it will come.
Absolutely, absolutely. So breakthrough comes with consistent, persistent, intentional effort. Breakthrough comes when you allow greatness and excellence to be your forerunner, basically. Not just a one and done thing. Breakthrough is about a consistent,
Absolutely.
persistent, effort in making things happen in an effective way. It's reaching beyond your basic needs, helping other people. Denise, and you do this so well. Denise recently shared a story with me about a trip she took to Jamaica, and you met some local girls there. And what did you tell me you want to do to be a blessing to her? she plans to send money to one of these. No, but she's made friends with this person. Now, normally friends, you make friends and for a long time before you decide, well, I'm going to help you do X, Y, and Z. But she's such a destiny helper. She met this young lady and she liked the fact that she was passionate about her goals. And she said, do you know what? I'm going to help you. But that's what she does. That's who she is. And that's why I love hanging around people like yourself, Denise, because you challenge me to be a better me. Isn't that amazing? So I'm encouraging you to challenge the people, your friends around you, to help you be a better you. So breakthrough, again, is all about going above and beyond so that you can truly break through and become who you were made or created to be. I want to encourage you to share this program right now. Please share it to your page, have a watch party. We have some amazing content for you, and I'm really happy that you joined us. And don't forget, you can email me at breakthroughtti.com. No, not .com. breakthrough@tti@gmail.com. breakthroughtti@gmail.com. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sharon A. Joseph. I promise you'll get lots of good content, and from now on, Denise will be working with me to get some awesome topics so that we can share some really amazing things going forward. Denise, do you want to tell them about who you are, like what you do? So Denise is an HR specialist. She works with this company and she now lives in Atlanta, but we've just been, no matter where she lives, we have been friends, and we could not talk to each other for a month, but when we pick up, it's like we never missed a beat. So tell us about what you do.
I am an HR generalist, and I work for an insurance company in Atlanta, Georgia. I enjoy that a lot, but one of the things I do, one of my hobbies, I've done plays, and
Yes.
I've done plays for different churches, and we've produced, and I write and direct, and I really enjoy doing that kind of stuff. I feel as if there's a lot of things that I'd like to do. I think I have a lot of interest, and sometimes that's not a great thing because you kind of don't know which direction to go in. But I think I've narrowed down a few of mine, and I'm focusing on those.
Yes.
And one of those things that Sharon said is perhaps to work with Sharon to help her build this, because she does have a lot of information that you can use, tools and tips that you can use to get from where you are to where you want to be and be successful doing it, and to do it with integrity.
Absolutely. And integrity, that's a big thing
Hi,
for me.
Tom.
And hi, Tom. Yeah, Tom is watching in Atlanta. Hi, Tom. Thanks for joining us. So yes, so in case you're asking what Breakthrough is all about, I did share that with you. My hope for this program, as Denise said, it's about helping you move from where you are to where you want to go. My hope is that you use the tips, tools, and insights I share with you to truly break through and live with passion and purpose. How? By recognizing the importance of your mind. In everything I do, if I call her Denise, after 30 years, I guess I can call her D.
She's the only one that does that.
I know. But I think in everything I do, I do it from a couple points of view. One, to help you recognize that your mind is your most valuable asset. The guy who wrote Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, he said that he is shocked, and he wrote this book after 30 years of research, and he said he's shocked that the one thing that men don't do is use their mind. Our minds are our most valuable asset, and when we use it, great things happen. What's the difference between Mark Zuckerberg and let's say Bill Gates, or any great person, and you and I? What's the difference? They're human just like you and I. It's how they use their minds. They're using your mind, your most valuable asset, your thoughts, the way you think. And there's another saying that the difference between rich people and poor people are what? It's the way they think, the way we think. So they think in the form of, I can do it, and they move and they go forward and get it done. And we think of all the reasons why we can't get it done. We make excuses for ourselves, and we end up not getting it done. Denise, you made a really important point last night yesterday about why people don't achieve the things they set out to. And if you remember,
I'm gonna try, but I think one of the things we talked about is, like you just said, what's the difference between Elon Musk? What's the difference, like Sharon said, Bill Gates, and the rest of us they have accomplished the things that they have set out to accomplish. I'm sure they have had setbacks, but in the end, through persistence and continuity, they have accomplished what they wanted. And some of the things, the reasons we were thinking about it is that we said, you generally have a thought. Is this what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You have a thought. And the example I gave her last night is you want to build a house. You have this thought, I want to build a house. Okay, cool. Then you say it out loud. Okay, the thought was in your head. Then you say it out loud. You may say it I may say to Sharon, look, Sharon, I want to build a house. Okay, so I've completed 2 steps of the process. The third step now would be action. And one of the things we discussed and said is that is the part where most people get stuck.
Yeah.
Then after action would be, what did you say was the other?
Live.
No,
Live.
it was
think, do, say, and live.
No, I'm sorry. We were talking about action. I'm sorry. We were talking about action, thought. Oh gosh, it was thought, speak, action, and then
actualization.
Actualization. I'm sorry. It took us a while to get that together, but that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get to the point of action, there's so much that goes into action. A lot of us get stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
So we never make it through to actualization and visualization. So we have to go through those steps to figure out what needs to be done and push through those steps to accomplish that final piece and to get the result we want. And the thing is, we can do it. I think a lot of us stop short because we allow obstacles to get into our way. We get distracted, we deflect, but we can do it if we focus on the action piece. And sometimes you may need mentors or help, and Sharon is passionate and awesome with that kind of stuff. And she is driven to get people to that actualization piece.
Absolutely, because again, the way we think determines the outcome we get. And the series about think, do, say, and live, we need to understand, recognize the importance. So listen, I will repeat this a million times until you get it, because if you get it, the rest would fall in line. The way you think is critical to any success you accomplish. Your thoughts, the thoughts we allow to dominate our mind can determine the outcome of our life, of our success, or our failure. The thoughts, good thoughts or bad thoughts, will always come to our mind, but we have a choice to entertain bad thoughts and have them truly dominate our mind, or we have a choice of saying, I'm not going to have this thought dominate my mind, even fear. But that's another thing. Denise, you had something you want to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, people are free to disagree with me if they want to, but I feel thoughts are to some degree energy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not to some degree. I believe thoughts is energy, and when you have a thought, it ruminates sometimes in your head, so it's repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating. But if you if you try to force that thought out, it's harder. But if you kind of don't assign any emotion to the thought. Just don't let that thought make you angry. Don't let it make you sad. Don't let it make you unhappy. It's just a thought. I think it eventually leaves your mind, because I think we say things like this, but sometimes these things are hard to do. So we have to come up with of ways to figure out how to do these things. Yeah, and I think that's one way.
Absolutely. So this topic, think, do, say, and live, came about because a dear friend of mine, she's an HR manager in Pennsylvania, and she was concerned about the fact that people are not working, collecting unemployment, and she just felt anger and resentment because of it, because she felt, well, I'm working full time and they're just sitting at home doing nothing and collecting money. And I thought to myself that, Jay, you may be right. It could make you feel angry, but there is a saying, don't be weary in well-doing, or don't stop doing what you know is good. It's not a saying, it's in the Bible, it's in my owner's manual. So if you, despite what other people are doing, if you choose not to be concerned about what they are doing and you continue doing what's right and what's good, it would move you from where you are to where you need to be. So a brief recap, Dee, and you can help me too, a brief recap of what we spoke about. This started because of work, and we know that there are some things that we get from work. I mean, the topic came about because of her being so upset about people getting money and not working. So my thoughts to you are, 1, don't get upset for doing what is right. And it's not always easy, unfortunately, to do the right thing, but I encourage you to do the right thing. Work is important. If you are not in a position to work, or you're currently receiving unemployment and you can't work, I suggest you volunteer, because there's some benefits to working. One, we know it keeps us busy, it challenges us to give, and it challenges us and gives us the means to develop ourselves. Do you want to help me? It gives us a sense of pride, identity, and personal achievement. And she's an HR person, so she knows some of the benefits of as well. Like it enables us to socialize, right? Mm-hmm. And build contacts and find support, basically. Yeah. Many of us find our purpose. It kind of like branches off from the work we do. So, and yes, work also provides us with money to take care of ourselves and family.
Yeah.
Did you want to add anything else?
No, I think that's definitely it. I think you had made a point also about working, whether it's volunteer capacity, mm-hmm. or whether or not it's for your wages and livelihood. Right. But there's something about working that gives you a sense of purpose also, and we also need that for self-esteem. Absolutely. So there's so many. It's not granted. We all need money. I mm-hmm. want as much money as I can get legally, right? Exactly. But there's something about working and accomplishing things and feeling and having a purpose that affects your self-esteem. And if our self-esteem mm-hmm. isn't where it's supposed to be, we don't want it up here where it becomes arrogance, but we want it at a good, healthy place. That also allows you to accomplish the things you want to accomplish. That's also it drives you toward in that direction. So working is critical and vital, not just to your not just mm-hmm. your financial well-being, mm-hmm. but also to your mental health and your emotional health.
Absolutely. So the things you do are important. By working, you're investing in yourself. Now, after your mind, my next big thing is about self-investment. You could never lose for investing in you. Can I say that again?
Say it again.
No one can lose.
People in the room back who didn't hear you.
No one can lose by investing in themselves. I've worked on Wall Street for most of my career, and I have lost so much money by investing in stocks and bonds, because guess what? Their value increases and decreases. And when the crash came, I tell you, many people lost stocks and many people killed themselves because of that loss. Yeah. But can I tell you, when you invest in yourself, yeah. when you invest in improving your mind, your mental state. Go ahead, Dee.
No, I was going to say, you say invest in yourself, but I wanted to ask you, give us a more, what do you mean by invest in yourself?
Sure.
What does that look like?
Let's use you and Tom. Tom, I hope he doesn't mind. Dee shared something with me some time ago that her and her boyfriend, they'd normally even think about a book. Let's just get a book and read it and talk about it.
Yeah.
Now, that may seem simple, and most people wouldn't want to do that. But doing something as simple as reading a book and discussing the content is a way of investing in you. Yeah. The way you look. Many years ago, Oprah did a program, and she said that the program was basically about how to get promoted. And one of the ways she found was that those who invest in themselves, like maybe putting on some powder. It doesn't have to be makeup, because most people may not necessarily say, well, Sharon, I don't want to wear makeup. Not even makeup, but making sure your hair is done well, your face is powdered or not, your lips aren't ashy. Just make yourself look good. Don't just get up and put on a crumpled shirt. You told me about a waitress, a manager at a restaurant, that looked like she just pulled something out of the laundry basket and came to work with it.
I think you're setting a really bad impression of me.
No, you shared the story
well, you know what?
About that lady.
Right.
That's bad service.
Right. We went to a restaurant that shall remain nameless, and my yes. boyfriend hadn't gone to this particular restaurant before, and we were like, talking about
Mm-hmm.
you should come. They have this great thing that you're gonna love, and we go there, and the experience was awful. Awful. And there were 4 of us, so far from him liking the restaurant and they gaining a new customer, they lost 4 customers because the service was awful. And then and then the manager comes over and she tries to explain everything, but it wasn't. I mean, we understood, but it didn't. The first impression was awful and the service was awful. I appreciate the manager coming over, but it still wasn't enough after that experience for us to say, oh yeah, let's forget about it and just go back. So it was
and then the manager's appearance wasn't welcoming either. So again, investing in yourself. I do a training program, Dressing for Success and Job Readiness, and one of the things I talk about is the way you dress, the things you put on. It determines how you are addressed by others, how people see you, and how they deal with you, on an ongoing basis. The other thing we need to know about investing in ourselves and the way we dress, the outside, because God knows our heart. But guess what? Man sees what we have on. And the thing about that is, man judges you based on what they see. Only God can see and judge your heart. So be mindful of what you wear, how you wear, and the message you want to send. Because we can literally talk to people based on just the way we dress. And it's really important that we are aware of that as we go forward.
So you're saying the way of dressing is a form of communication?
Absolutely.
That you're communicating to...
Absolutely.
Okay.
The way you dress actually is, it tells people, you communicate 55% of your communication, 55% of your communication based on the way you dress, what people see. So you first communicate non-verbally, and then based on the tone of your voice, the way you're communicating, and only 7% of our communication is the actual words we say. Isn't that amazing? 55% is based on the way we look. 38% is based on what we say, the sound of our voice, and only 7% is based on the actual words we say. And we spoke about the words. So again, investing in yourself is more than just the physical, because it's absolutely more than just the physical. What you put in here is so critical.
Yeah, I agree. And I think when you say investing in yourself, I think people would immediately think that you're speaking to just the physical appearance. But I think everything we do, first, we have to do in threes.
Exactly.
That's or emotionally, mentally, and physically.
Exactly. So first, that's why I always talk about the mind first, because we want to invest in our minds before we do anything else. Because what comes out of here truly determines where we end up. So find a mentor, read, work. Because work, while you're working, you're earning, but you're also learning something. So work, read a book, read an audiobook if you don't want to physically read. There's so many options these days.
An audiobook.
Well, okay, fine. Listen to an audiobook. He says she keeps me sharp. Listen to an audiobook. You can't read an audiobook. Listen to an audiobook and read a book, a physical book. Find a mentor. Many people are so pride-filled that it's difficult for them to put themselves under someone and say, I'm going to have a mentor to help me in some area or another. But can I tell you, finding a mentor can be that one thing you need to take you from where you are and to help you truly walk in the purpose in which you've been called to. Be teachable.
Yes, and what I want to add to that whole mentor thing is that don't think that there's an age limit to having or being a mentor. Mm-hmm. It does not matter how old you are. Exactly. Mentors are helpful and useful. And one of the important things about a mentor, obviously, if you're going to choose a mentor, choose wisely. Mm-hmm. And it could be somebody you don't know. I know this is a story. I can't remember who it was, but I know there are people that have written to people that they've seen and asked them or heard speak, can you be my mentor? Mm-hmm. And some people will say no, and some people may say yes, but don't let no kill you. Ask the question anyway.
Exactly.
So mentors, like I said, it doesn't matter how old or how young you are, or even how old or young the mentor is. A mentor is a very, very good alliance to have.
Absolutely. And they could indeed be a destiny helper to help you get to walk in destiny and accomplish your purpose. So again, our topic is think, do, say, and live. So if you're now joining us, thank you so much. We encourage you to share this broadcast and send us comments and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sharon A. Joseph. Thank you so much. So last week we asked you to think about what you say. The series is Think, Do, Say, and Live. Think, know that the thoughts you have can determine your future. Do something, work, and if you can't work and earn money, volunteer because it still helps you. And then the other part of this was say. The things we say are so critical. The things think about it. I ask you to think about what you say. The words that come out of your mouth has creative power. It does. So the creative power is first birthed in your mind or created your thoughts. Is that creative power? Your imaginations, the thing you imagine. And then after you imagine it, Denise gave the example of building a house. Then the time comes to write down the plan and execution. and then it's rebirth. It's first birth in the mind, and when you write it down and it comes to pass, it's rebirth in what you say first, and then you do. So what you say is really critically important. Everything that was created twice. First in your mind, and then in the words we say. We don't normally do anything because before we say it. We may say it to ourselves, like, I'm going to work, or I'm going to the supermarket, or something like that, and then you do it. So when you think about it, you think, then you do, or you think, you say, and then you do. You talk to yourself. So the book of creation, or my owner's manual, as I like to call it, in the first chapter, it says God said 9 times. God said, and then God saw. So generally, before we see, we have to say. Does that make sense to you? Before we see, we have to say. So so think about what you want in your mind, and then say it out, and then you'll see it. May I remind you that your words, or the things you say, have power for life or death. Everything we speak, like we were having this discussion last night, again, about this topic, and we were talking about neutral words. And Denise, again, she challenges my mind in so many different ways. I love it. And do you want to talk about that?
No,
So she's like, well, what do you mean that there are no neutral words? It's true. Words of themselves are neutral. Okay, the words of themselves has no meaning until you speak or put meaning to them. Does that make sense? Or do you challenge me so I can correct it, so other people can understand? What we say can speak life or death. If a word is just written down, the word has no meaning until we apply the meaning to it based on what we say. The Bible says that our tongue is our tongue could be like fire. It can also be water. It can be poison. It can also be medicine. Growing up, I remember saying many times, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Can I tell you, that's so not true. Words hurt, and the pain stays so much longer than any broken bone. Sometimes I wish that the words people had spoken to me, like, you can't do this, or you'd never be this, or so on, were them breaking a bone. Because if they had broken a bone, it may have been healed and I may not have remembered it. But some words are seared in my mind and I cannot forget them. So words do hurt. The things we say do hurt. But
I think the effects of words can actually kill.
Absolutely.
Even beyond hurt. But I also feel that to some extent this wraps back around to self-esteem, because sometimes it depends on your level of self-esteem that determines how deeply those words hurt or cut or kill.
Yeah.
So I think having your self-esteem, working on your self-esteem, minimizes you're human, you're not a robot. So things are gonna hurt when people say things that aren't true about you and stuff like that. But if your self-esteem are intact, the effects of those words are minimized.
Absolutely.
They're minimized. And when Sharon was saying words are neutral, are not neutral. I was saying, and we may be saying the same thing, but saying it differently, because I would say words are neutral, but it's the emotion that you apply to the words. If you say, there are things that you can say that won't have an effect or won't have meaning unless there is an emotion behind it. So I think, and like I said, we may be saying the same thing in slightly different ways, but I personally think that words are neutral. I don't think words are innately good or innately bad. I just think that when we use them and how we use them and the emotion that we present them with is what causes the pain.
Absolutely. So again, with our mouth, a godless man destroys his neighbor. Think about it. That means that the things we say can destroy others, and as you said, even kill them. The words we say, our spoken words, what we are saying is basically the same. The words we say, words of themselves are neutral. And that's how the words are neutral because it has no meaning until you apply a meaning to it. Emotion, or what emotions we ascribe to the words determines if it's good or bad. It's never just neutral. It's either good or bad. Think about it. The spoken words you say, a word has no life transforming meaning or impact until it's formed into meaning or words or sentences and come out of our mouth. But what we say can also bring death or it can bring life. The words we say. How? Through our thoughts. Our thoughts and what we say from our thoughts can bring offense. You can be lying based on what you're thinking. Words can cause resentment, anger, malice, jealousy, slander, depending on the words you use, gossip, racism. Guess what? They all come from the emotions and then the words you spew out. Violence, judgment, death, mistrust, condemnation, and eventually death. So we need to be careful about what we say, the words we say, because they either bring life or death. They can bring life by.
No, I was just going to say, when you say bring life and death, are you talking about to yourself or to
both?
Okay.
To others. Think about it. If you're saying that I could never do this, then eventually you could never do it because you just told yourself that you can. You cannot. But if you say I can do all things because I know that I have a savior, I have a creator who made me with a great purpose, I can do this. Generally, you get it done. So the words you speak can bring life. It can bring encouragement. It can bring hope, love, peace. Truth in love. Sometimes we want to be mean, like you did this and I'm going to tell you off. But sometimes you can tell someone the truth and do it in love and help them to grow, because some people just lie for no reason, and I have just experienced something like that was so devastating to me. And I thought to myself, I don't need to be around this person, because if he would blatantly lie in front of me or about me, then that's dangerous. So the words we say, the spoken words, and integrity is so critical. And we'll talk a little more about that as we go. But bottom line is, the words we say are important. The words we say can bring either life or death, and we need to be careful how we use them. The words we say can bring wisdom, instructions, correction, and the words we say can build up governments or break them down. Our words can bring down establishment or bring peace. Our words can destroy a marriage or renew hope. It could crush a child's sense of worth or build confidence and self-worth. So we need to be really careful with the words we say. Denise, again, words are neutral until we say it, we put meaning to it.
Yeah. And I also, I agree with everything Sharon just said. And it's also, and I know these aren't actually spoken words, but that internal dialogue that you have in your head,
yes.
That internal dialogue and your thoughts, you have to watch those thoughts and that dialogue and make sure that dialogue isn't pulling you down and oppressing you, but it's building you up.
Absolutely. Something many people don't think about. Our thoughts, our emotional thoughts, what we are thinking about and what we are saying out of our mouth has such great power. As a matter of fact, my owner's manual tells me that it has basically the same level of power. If you keep thinking about something, your emotions will help you push it to make it come to pass. It says, actually, in my owner's manual, it says, now unto him who's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ask with your mouth or think. That tells me right there that asking and thinking has been put on the same level. So we need to be careful, as Denise was saying, about that dialogue that goes on in our mind. When we ended last week's broadcast, this was so critical. We spent a long time on this because the power of the words we say, the words we speak, is more important than we realize, and our words matter. So as we move on from this program, and we're not done yet, but as we move on this week, I hope you consider the words you're saying, because they matter. They can bring life or death, and to you and your dreams as well. Today we are talking about live, and I'm so excited because we've had an amazing day, an amazing day yesterday as well. So how do we bring this entire session into live? What should we do? How can we start it? I know it's loaded. Okay, fine. She's waiting for me to continue, so I will do that. So we're talking about live. It's a simple word that's loaded. We have a few points that we'll review with you to help you live a successful and enjoyable life. The first one is what I live my life by. One, the CIA principle. What is the CIA? What is my CIA principle? It's not the US CIA, my personal CIA. And that means that, one, we should live with character, good character, integrity, and a good attitude. have a character, have or establish moral principles. Character, I've read this recently, is basically power, is basically having power and using it wisely. Have principles by which you live by, and then integrity, live by the principles. Because some people say, well, I have a principle to do X, Y, and Z, and then you see them doing the very opposite thing that they just spoke about. So live and have a good character, live with integrity.
I've heard a definition of integrity that to me is eye-opening. It says integrity isn't what you do when people are watching.
Exactly.
It's what you do when people aren't watching.
Exactly.
And if that isn't the best definition of integrity,
I agree.
I don't know what is, because it really makes you stop, give pause, and think, oh my God, what are the things I do when people aren't watching that I do when people are watching? And I think if we keep that in mind, it'll guide us to have good principles and and have good characteristics.
Absolutely.
And build your character.
Absolutely. Some people would work really hard when their boss is around, and when they are not there, they slack off or don't do or just be on Facebook. No, if you're gonna have live with a good character and integrity, that integrity part is doing as much as or more than when your boss is not there, or as much as when he's there or not.
Yeah, and I think the other thing about integrity is that it people see it.
Yeah.
They see your integrity. I mean, you can hide your character, but I don't think you can particularly hide your integrity.
Absolutely.
If you have integrity, people will recognize it. And if you don't have integrity, they will also recognize that.
Exactly.
So I feel that is something that you really need to work on, you really need to build. And I truly think that also is a pathway, because if you're in a job and you're working with integrity and a position opens up, you may not qualify for the position, but you may get it simply based on the quality of work you do. Absolutely. And the fact that your boss can trust you, that they can leave the office or wherever you work and know with confidence that your integrity will kick in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we encourage you to live with integrity. So again, my CIA principle, 1, have a good character. And character is so important, because people can go a lifetime building up a good character and it takes seconds to be destroyed. And I think that's why I try to run away from people who do not live with integrity or with a good character, because it's frightening to me, because I have worked so hard to live with integrity, live with a good character, and then to know that someone can come and within a second ruin that, or it doesn't make sense. So have good character, live with integrity, and the other part of that is to have a good attitude. Denise just gave a good example about you may not be qualified for a position, but your integrity and your attitude can truly move you to a next level. So yes, have a good attitude. And talking about attitude, I cannot talk about attitude without talking about gratitude, because our attitude with gratitude can take us to altitudes beyond what we can ever imagine. So make sure that you have a good character, integrity, have a good attitude, and live with gratitude. It's amazing that even as parents, if your daughter comes up to you and says, hey mommy, thank you so much for getting me whatever you got her last week or last month, and she just keeps appreciating you for what you've done in the past, would you not want to do more for her in the future? That's generally how people are. So if someone has done something good for you, why not appreciate them? If someone is being kind to you, why not appreciate them? And gratitude, when we are going through challenging situations, remembering all the good things that has happened to us in the past, helps us to deal with challenges in our present when we are grateful. And it helps us to know too, if I got through that one, I'll get through this one too. So in the meantime, I'll just be grateful for where I'm at, knowing that I have a greater place to go to. The other thing we were talking about was to love people and value relationships. Oh, this is so important. Because nowhere you want to get in life, you can get there without other people. And no accomplishments you have in life are just for yourself. Do you want to expound on that? Because people like Mark Zuckerberg, I mean, Facebook is created. This man is a billionaire making billions of dollars off of it. But is it for him? I mean, obviously he's using it, but who is reaping the benefits of it? We are. So in everything you do, value relationships, because no matter where you want to get to in life, it will take people to help you get there and stay there. No man is an island unto himself, and everything you want in your life comes through someone else. So be genuinely interested in people, and sometimes that can be difficult because you feel, well, I don't necessarily care about trucks and vehicles. I like to play with dolls and whatever else. But the funny thing about becoming genuinely interested in other people is once you allow yourself to truly listen to them for a moment, you may become so engaged in what they're sharing. And more than that, it's like investing in yourself, because you'd also learn something from what they're sharing with you. So don't be afraid to be genuinely interested in people and value your relationships. So show compassion and be humble. Sometimes I may know something, but I want to know someone else's point of view, so I will act dumb just so that I can learn something new. That is valuing a relationship or someone else's thoughts, because we all grew up in different places and have experienced different things. So our thoughts are not my thoughts, and Denise's thoughts are so different. But in me listening to her, I learned so much, and so too with you. You can learn so much by listening to other people. We've gone on for a while. We just have a few more points to share with you. My third point is to live and establish boundaries. Again, our topic is think, do, say, and live, and today we are ending this series with live, and I'm sharing these CIA principles: character, integrity, a good attitude. I'm sharing the fact that we need to value relationship, love others, and show compassion and caring, be thankful. And the other one is to establish boundaries. Dee, do you want to tell us about boundaries? I know I didn't at one point, and it was detrimental to me to some extent. Do you want to share the importance of boundaries at home and relationship in the office?
Well, I think that actually I think you should speak on this. But what I was gonna say is I think we all know that boundaries are important. I think sometimes it's hard to define those boundaries or to know where to draw the line, but we need to. We were talking last night about relationships and how in many cases in relationships there's somebody always, it's never truly 50-50, whether it's friendship, relationship, whether it's a friendship or romantic relationship or whatever. It's a lot. Sometimes it's like 55-45. Right. Hopefully that adds up to 100. And the example I gave was that if you have a friend and your friend is always, you guys are going to the movies, you go out, and your friend is always picking the restaurant, picking the movie, picking the where you go, and your attitude is like, oh, it's okay, you pick it, I don't care. I think I've gone off topic, Sharon, but I'm gonna still finish the sentence. I think when you do that, you're kind of teaching them how to treat you by not having a voice, by not setting your boundaries for yourself. Yeah. You are letting them tell you what you're going to be doing.
Absolutely.
So I think boundaries are definitely important. They're critical to the success of every relationship. And absolutely. I think boundaries have a negative connotation, but it's not negative. I don't care if you're twins, you have boundaries.
You need to establish.
If you've been married for 85 years, there's still boundaries because we're all still individual people, and we all still have our own thoughts. We need our time, and we really need our personal time. So boundaries are extremely important to a successful relationship.
Absolutely, and we need to remember that we literally teach people how to treat us by what we accept from them. Think about it. If someone can, okay, so I'll give myself as an example. Before I got married, no guy that I know would walk up to me and just grab me or touch me uninvited. I have established that boundaries that it is not acceptable for you to touch me or come and just grab me if you were not invited. And I think for every person, especially if you want to live with a good character and integrity and so on, every person need to establish boundaries for themselves and the people around them, including in marriage. It's so critical. If you're single and thinking about getting married, think about it. Don't just get married and say, okay, whatever you want. No, we do want to please our husbands, but we certainly we need to establish boundaries, because guess what? Without boundaries, abuse is imminent. So think about that as you go. Live with integrity. Know that boundaries are important. And the other part, number 4 in on live, is pain. We all have experienced or will experience pain in life. Guess what? It comes with living. No one that's dead experiences pain. But pain is an indicator that you're alive, first of all, but pain can also be an indicator that change is necessary. So don't ignore the pains you feel in life physically, or the pain that happened because of a situation or circumstance. Know that as long as you live, you will experience some kind of pain, but don't just ignore pain. Dead people don't feel pain. So acknowledge and do something about your pain, and feel and have an open mind to change. If you're on drugs right now and you are feeling the pain of neglect, reject, and lack, know that there is a way out. But you've got to say, do I really want to? Think about it. In your mind, every major life transforming decision takes place. So learn and grow based on the pains you go through. And if change is necessary, then change. Your pain could be pointing you to in the direction of your life's purpose as well. When I mentioned MAD, moms.
No, go ahead.
Moms Against Drunk Driving.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
There were some drunk drivers that killed some.
It's funny.
Some daughters.
It's true though.
And sons.
It's true.
And they got mad and they got mad.
Exactly. Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So yeah, but we're laughing about it, but it's really serious.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Pain happens, but something good can come out of it. So those mothers who have lost children, and now they've formed this organization that's truly impacting the world because of that pain.
And a good example too for me is, you guys may not be able to relate in the same way, but I'm sure you women can. Those of you who've had kids, you go through so much pain to have that child. But then immediately after you've given birth and you see this beautiful little person that you've created, the pain is almost the pain is you never think about the pain again, but think of the pain, and a lot of us go on, a lot of other people go on and do it 3, 4, 5 more times,
right?
Because they've worked through the pain, they had the pain, but the resght, what they pushed through and received after the pain, brought so much joy to their lives that it made them happy. That was the result of the pain. The other thing too, and I'm sure you guys have heard this before and you're well aware of it, but like I could, when you're giving birth and the doctor is telling you push when the pain is at its worst. So if you were able to translate that into real life, when you're going through your own life with things and your struggles and whatever, just because there's pain doesn't mean you're not gonna succeed. It just means that you have to, it's going to be uncomfortable, it's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult, but it's going to end. And at the end of that, you are going to have accomplished whatever it was you wanted to accomplish.
Absolutely. And on the theme of pregnancy and giving birth, the funny thing about giving birth is the greatest pain comes just before the birth. So if you are going through extreme pain right now, know that something great is about to come out of it. The other point,
I'm sorry. What I have to add to that is something great can come out of it, depending on what you do with it. If you take that pain and let it make you angry, if you take it and let it make you hostile, if you let it make you bitter, then nothing great will come out of it. But if you learn to take that and turn it around, the best revenge is success. If you take that pain and turn it around and do something positive with it, you will be a blessing not only to yourself but others around you. People that you don't know, will appreciate if you can take that and not, like I said, keep it in, but release it and use that to accomplish the things you want to accomplish. Let it drive you.
Absolutely. Let it drive you. Okay, so number 5 is to deal with the issues of life effectively. Deal with the issues of life effectively. Many times we want to have a permanent solution to a temporary issue. And I'll get into that some more, but basically deal with the issues of life effectively. Don't lie, cheat, and steal. Know that you reap what you sow. A permanent, getting a permanent solution for a temporary issue is basically saying, well, my child didn't do homework well, so I'm just going to kick him out and not have him, or take him out of school, when just by getting a tutor can help him and help him to be successful. So that's the temporary versus permanent. But more importantly, Denise and I were talking about lying. I mean, and how you deal with issues on the job. Difficult things that most of us may want to lie about. What do you do?
I can't. I don't lie to my manager.
Yeah.
The reason I don't lie to her isn't because, oh, when you lie you have to remember.
Lie,
no,
yeah.
it's just not worth it to
Yes,
me.
exactly.
You know, I don't promise anybody that I'm perfect. I make mistakes, and
We all do.
I make mistakes on the job. Now, I'm not saying I say to her, well, you know, yeah, I just paid that guy $90,000, and well, you're just gonna have to live with it. No. What I'll do is, like, I'll tell her, yeah, you know, I made a mistake, and then I go on to apologize for that mistake, and then I go on to tell her why that mistake won't happen again, because I've done this, I've done that, I've implemented this in my process.
Mitigating,
you know, I've made these changes, so that's not going to happen again. And I think that
that's healthy.
And also, I think that, like, lies is almost, to me, these things are like cancers.
Yes.
And they're inside, and they're doing their work, just eating us up on the inside, and they're eventually gonna kill us or stress us out.
Absolutely.
So I truly don't have time for that, because my motto is, I will be happy despite all.
And peace, and peace, right?
Peace is my most valued possession.
Yes.
So I don't have time for that, and I don't do it, and I think we have to be mature, and I think, Sharon, you were saying this too, that we have to be mature enough to accept and acknowledge
take responsibility.
Take responsibility.
Absolutely.
You know, that's what you do.
So don't lie, cheat, steal. These things does not make you feel confident. They, as a matter of fact, when you lie, cheat, and steal, you're always wondering, when would someone find out? So that keeps you back from truly accomplishing your purpose. And everything I do, say, and think about, it's about helping myself and you walk in our purpose. Know this: you reap what you sow. When a farmer plants corn, he doesn't expect anything else but corn. So know that in everything you do it with the right motive, the right mindset. So if you sow bitterness and anger, and resentment, guess what? That's exactly what you'll get. And eventually it leads to death. When you tell the truth, you never have to worry about being found out. When you lie, you're always on the defense. So remember that. Number 6 is to remember how you got to your last mountaintop. Now this is, or your last success, or your last great thing you had. Why? Because you took action. And Denise, you started with this topic about most challenging thing after we have a thought, to bring it to fruition, is the actions we need to take. Now, many times when we're in the valley, we feel like, oh my God, there's no hope. There's, what do? I can't do anything, or there's no one to help me. But fact is, we forget that while we're in the valley, that there are things we can learn. There are things that you can only learn when you're in the valley. And many times we want to rush from one mountaintop to another, that we never truly value or get the benefits of the valley. Your thoughts, your words, and your action comes before actualization. In case you missed, number 7 was live with passion, that burning desire to accomplish your purpose, a specific desirable goal, and develop big goals and dreams and write them down. Know that you cannot hit a moving target, so you've got to have a target. And as Denise said, go big
or go home. I didn't make it up, but
I know,
you hear people say all the time, go big or go home.
Go big or go home. Make your goals so big that when you hit, you wouldn't have to be trying to find that little target. It's so big that you'll be able to hit your target easily. And number 8 was to finally to remember that your thoughts, the things you think of, the things you say to yourself or the things you just think of and then say out loud. Your thoughts are critical to your success. The words you speak are critical, and your action. Your thoughts, your words, and your action comes before actualization or manifestation. And be optimistic. Why? Because your optimism will help you get to your purpose faster. If you're pessimistic, don't expect to get good outcome. And I have begun to spell faith, F-A-I-T. I've begun to spell that as R-I-S-K. R-I-S-K to me is another word of spelling F-A-I-T-H, spelling faith. With faith, it's a risk. When you're making faith moves, you're taking risks. So don't be afraid to take risks, because that's showing your faith. It's also showing your passion for the purpose in which you were created for, or the thing that you're going after. And finally, when you actualize or accomplish your goals or have made significant progress, what should we do? Celebrate. I mean, I am so psyched. I've been doing this program for several months now. I haven't done anything fun. I mean, summer has come and almost gone, and for the last 5 months I haven't done anything really fun or gotten. So to be away in this beautiful place called Fort Lauderdale, Florida, it's just so, and this hotel, oh my gosh, and we got upgraded to an amazing suite. So it's just like so beautiful. So when you have accomplished something, when you've accomplished a goal, when you've accomplished a goal or have made significant progress, celebrate your accomplishments. Do something special for yourself. That gives you the fuel you need to move forward and do great things. Take a vacation or do something, but in doing something, don't lose sight of the finish line. Don't lose sight of your goal. I'm so excited that everyone was able to join us today. Denise, do you have any final thoughts for us?
No, I just want to thank you very much for having me, and I just want to encourage everybody to do as you asked, and to share. And Sharon is very passionate about this. Her whole she definitely does have. She has gone big, so she can't go home. So there's so much in her that she wants to pour out, that she wants to give, that she wants to use to help people not only find their purpose, but to help them realize their purpose and to be very successful in it. She has a passion for kids, for young people, to teach them, to help them to, so that they can have beautiful futures.
Absolutely.
So I really hope that you guys can see her heart and appreciate what she's trying to do, and be a part and partner with her.
Absolutely.
To allow all this to happen.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. So again, our series has been Think, Do, Say, and Live. And Denise has encouraged me to truly work on the action part of it. So help you take action to accomplish your goals. Now, the only how I can do that is by you sharing what some of your goals are, and then I can help you figure out what the action steps are in order for you to accomplish them. So until next time on Breakthrough, when we'll talk about what action needs you have. Until next time, I am encouraging you. I hope truly, one, that you use the tips, the tools, and the insights we have shared with you to truly change, transform your life, and walk and live with passion and purpose. Life is so too short for us to not take life seriously and do great things. We were made for a specific purpose. Nothing that is made was made without a purpose. So you were made for a great purpose. So don't take it for granted. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sharon A. Joseph. Send me your questions and your emails to breakthroughtti@gmail.com, breakthroughtti@gmail.com. And know this, as you pursue your goal, as you walk in purpose, know this: your creator created you, and he knows everything about you. And if you were to trust him with all your heart, don't lean on or depend on what you know or what you think you know or understand. And if you will seek his help in everything you do, in every direction, in everything you want to do, I promise you, he will show you, he will help you. You are not alone in this. You are loved so desperately. You are loved so desperately. So know this, until next time, I hope that you benefited somewhat from this program, and that you'd use the tips, the tools, the insights to think, do, say, and live with passion and purpose. Until next week, have a fantastic week and be a blessing to others. Denise, thank you so much again for being here and for being an amazing
Sure.
guest. And thank you for watching and being part of us.